Hey there, and welcome. If you're running a business in India, you already know how crucial a website is. But man, figuring out the cost, it can feel like trying to find your way through a maze, right? So today, we're going to clear all that up. We are going to demystify website design costs for 2025 and give you a super clear roadmap. Let's dive in.
This is it. This is the billion rupee question that's on every single entrepreneur's mind. You know you need that digital storefront, that 24/7 ambassador for your brand. But what's the right budget? Is there some kind of magic number?
And there it is. The range is absolutely massive, which is exactly why this whole topic is so confusing. See, this huge gap exists for a simple reason. Not all websites are created equal. The final price tag depends on a whole bunch of factors, and that's exactly what we're here to unpack today.
So, here's how we're going to get from confusion to total clarity. We'll start with that core question, break down the different types of websites, explain the pricing models you'll see, look at the other costs involved, and wrap up with a really important mindset shift about your website's true value.
Okay, first things first, let's get one thing straight. In today's world, having a website isn't some fancy luxury. No way. It's a core business asset. It's your 24/7 salesperson and your digital front door, all rolled into one.
Right, so to really understand the cost, you've got to know what you're actually buying. Websites generally fall into three main categories, from the super simple all the way to the completely custom built.
Kicking things off at the entry level, we're looking at a budget somewhere between 10,000 and 25,000 rupees. So what does that kind of money actually get you?
Well, that gets you a basic, static website. The best way to think about it is like a digital business card. It's absolutely perfect for someone who just needs a simple portfolio to show off their work, or maybe a small business that just needs to get online with a few key pages. You know, a homepage, an About Us page, and a way to get in touch. The key here is static. The content is pretty much fixed and doesn't change very often.
Now, let's say your needs are a little more complex. That's when you move up into the mid-range tier, which is going to land you somewhere between 30 and 75,000 rupees. This is where you get a dynamic website, and that word dynamic is everything. This kind of site is for businesses that need to be updating their content all the time. Think of a company blog or a corporate site that's always posting news. It's built on something called a content management system, or a CMS for short.
So, what on earth is a CMS? You know, it's actually pretty simple. It's basically a user-friendly tool on the back end of your site that lets you or your team add new blog posts, change text, upload photos, all without having to write a single line of code. It gives you the control and the flexibility you need as your business grows. It's a game changer.
And finally, we get to the top tier. And here, well, the investment starts at 5 lakh rupees, and honestly, it can go much higher from there, all depending on just how complex the project is.
We are now in the world of the enterprise-level website. We're talking about a seriously powerful digital platform custom-built for large organizations. These sites need complex architecture, all sorts of advanced features, and they have to seamlessly integrate with other business systems, things like your customer database, your inventory management, or complex payment systems.
All right, so let's just quickly recap those three tiers. You've got your basic static site, which is your starting point for a simple online presence. Then you have the dynamic site for businesses that are growing and need to update their content. And finally, the enterprise level for large-scale, really complex operations. Hopefully, this gives you a much clearer idea of where your business might fit in. Okay, so you've got a handle on the type of website you need, but how will the designer or the agency actually charge you for it? There are a few common ways they do this, and understanding them is so important for managing your budget. The two you'll see most often are fixed pricing and hourly rates. With a fixed price, it's simple. You get one single quote for the whole project. This is awesome for startups because you know exactly what you're spending. The only catch? Your project's scope has to be locked in and crystal clear from day one. Hourly rates, on the other hand, give you more flexibility for those projects where you're not 100% sure what you'll need down the road. But you do have to keep a close eye on the clock to make sure the costs don't spiral.
And then there's a third option, the retainer model. This is for after your site is actually built. You pay a set monthly fee, and for that, the agency handles all the ongoing stuff, maintenance, security updates, small content changes. It's kind of like having a tech team on call, but without the cost of hiring someone full-time.
Now, beyond the type of site and the pricing model, there are a few other key variables that are definitely going to influence that final quote you get. So a few things really drive that final number. A completely bespoke design will always cost more than a template. And if you need things like custom animations or complex integrations, that's more development time. But here's a really key insight for anyone doing business in India. Where your agency is located matters. A team in a Tier 1 city like Mumbai or Bangalore might charge a lot more than a team in a Tier 2 city, just because their own costs are higher.
And that brings us to our final, and maybe the most important section of all. It's time to stop thinking about your website as just another cost. We need to start seeing it for what it truly is, a strategic investment in the future of your business.
Because, a really great website isn't just about looking pretty. Not at all. It's a powerful tool that builds credibility with your customers, it's a direct reflection of your brand's professionalism, and it's out there working for you 24/7 to build trust and, ultimately, to drive sales.
Now, on the flip side, trying to cut corners and go for the cheapest option can have some really serious consequences. A poorly made website can lead to lost customers who just give up and leave. It can mean frustratingly slow load times, being totally invisible on Google, and maybe worst of all, it can seriously damage the trust that people have in your brand.
So here's the bottom line. Your website isn't just a static digital brochure. It should be one of the hardest working assets in your entire company. When it's built right, it becomes the engine that drives your marketing and sales, bringing in leads and generating revenue around the clock.
And when you think about it that way, it changes the whole conversation. The original question isn't just, how much does it cost anymore? It becomes something much, much deeper. The real question you need to be asking yourself is this.
Is it just another expense on a spreadsheet? Or is it your tireless 24/7 brand ambassador, your lead generator, and your top salesperson all in one? When you start to see it that way, the investment suddenly starts to make a whole lot more sense.